Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the political arena, where the gloves are off and the punches are landing. The government just bulldozed its way to making Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish. But was this really about development or just a power grab? Buckle up, because JLP's Desmond, McKenzie and PNP's Fitz are about to throw down in a parliamentary showdown you won't believe. Hey patriotic internet friends and family, welcome back to the channel. In this video, so me I go start off with 4 valid counter arguments against the JLP's Portmore Parish bill from the view of a political expert analysis. So I could start off with point number 1. Portmore is not financially ready for parish status. So based off of the urban planning consultant Professor Carol Archer, a leading expert in land use management, has outlined the serious financial and structural issues with making Portmore a parish. Her studies indicated that Portmore lacks the infrastructure and financial independency necessary to sustain itself as a separate parish. So Portmore might have the numbers in terms of population size, you get me? But as it relates to total independence and self-sustainability and that financial independence, them not ready for parish status yet. Now let's touch on the revenue loss for St. Catherine. By carving Portmore out of St. Catherine, the government is reducing the tax base of the original parish, particularly from revenue sources like motor vehicle licenses and government road funding. This weakens St. Catherine's ability to maintain its own infrastructure. So now this is a negative and direct impact if Portmore become a parish. Secondly, we are going to touch on Portmore's limited gains. Due to its size and location, Portmore would not generate enough revenue on its own to sustain major developments like a court system, hospital, or proper municipal services. Residents would still need to rely on St. Catherine for these essential facilities. I want everyone to get what me just say. So Portmore not ready as yet. We now say Portmore cannot become a parish, but what the JLP has say, in theory and in a real life, in the practical aspect, practically Portmore is not there as yet. So on a fight, we a fight for Portmore not becoming a parish, you know. We just highlight say these are the things where Portmore lack in order to get the designation of parish status. Point number 2, overriding the people's votes. Now, Portmore's current mayor, Leon Thomas, was directly elected by over 14,000 residents. Zin, the JLP's move to eliminate the directly elected mayoral position is an outright dismissal of these voters' voices. A mere 24 government members in Parliament should not have the power to overturn the decision of thousands of voters. Now, why is this important? Because this sets a dangerous precedent where parliamentary dominance can erase local electoral outcomes, basically stripping communities of their ability to choose their own leadership. I want everyone to understand what I say. So this is what the JLP has done with a move like this. Now make we highlight and address the fact that the government in real time, in a real life, overriding the electoral voices of over 14,000 people. Point number 3, political gerrymandering and the boundary manipulation. Now, the removal of key PMP strongholds like Lilliput, Leakspen, Garbally, Quarry Hill from Portmore's new parish boundaries is not a coincidence. It is a deliberate act of gerrymandering. This move strategically weakens the PNP's electoral base in the area, because now that PNP electoral base is now marginalized and gets sidelined because they are not included in the Portmore Parish. Them upon the outskirts of the parish. So them the inner St. Catherine. The JLP attempted a similar boundary shift in 2016, reverting the limits to Municipal Boulevard in an attempt to secure control. Yet they still lost the mayoral race. Now, instead of competing fairly, they are rewriting the rules in their favor. It's like the ball game are going and the JLP are try change the rules of the game in the middle of the ball game. And even halftime yet, the JLP keep on moving the goalposts. You get me? To suit their political agenda and to achieve for them political outcome. Point number 4. Lack of proper consultation and expert involvement. So unlike the extensive consultations conducted in the early 2000s when Portmore became a municipality, this decision has been rushed without engaging experts in urban planning and land use. So Professor Archer highlights that meaningful consultation is more than just a series of town hall meetings. It actually requires genuine data collection and analysis to inform sound policy making. Instead of, the government has bypassed academic input, ignoring critical research that shows Portmore is not yet viable as a standalone parish. You have to consult experts. So be yourself away. This expert just said, Professor Archer, we can say this is just a political move. That's why it lacks the practicality and the substance. That's why this move don't make no sense. Conclusion: a politically motivated move, not a practical one. The JLP's push to make Portmore a parish is not about development. It's about power. By eliminating the elected mayor, shifting boundaries, and disregarding expert analysis, the government is making a political motivated decision that could weaken both Portmore and St. Catherine. This decision must be challenged, and the people of Portmore must demand transparency, fairness, and proper planning before such a drastic change is made. Wanna get that? Now here's the key takeaways. The JLP is overturning the votes of over 14,000 residents by removing the elected mayor position. Boundary changes strategically remove PNP strongholds, making this an act of political gerrymandering. Expert analysis shows Portmore is not financially or structurally prepared to become a parish. The government has ignored urban planning professionals and failed to conduct proper consultation. This is a political move, not a developmental one, and the people of Portmore must fight for their right to proper representation and planning.
Our concern with this is partly about the process that has been followed, more fundamentally about the abuse of our democracy that it entails. And we have no particular objection to the idea of Portmore acquiring parish status at some time. However, I think the idea is being sold on a false premise by the government, because Portmore doesn't currently have the amenities that one associates with a parish, and we will continue to rely on surrounding parishes for those amenities when it becomes a parish. We abhor this attempt to gerrymander their way out of the consequences of the will of the people as expressed in the February 2024 local government elections. It's a retrograde step, it's an anti-democratic step, and we intend to challenge it in whatever way we can within the laws of Jamaica. That legislation is politically corrupt because it is running against an established convention where electoral boundaries are set by the ECJ on the recommendation of the EOJ technical people and the consideration of the matter at the ECJ level. The government is pretending that this isn't what's happening, but they've set the boundary of a parish right through the middle of two constituencies, and the Constitution says that a parish boundary can't straddle a parish boundary, so it's going to necessitate the reconfiguration of many constituencies along that boundary, and the way in which they've done it is to secure a political advantage to themselves. We intend to, first of all, challenge it however we can, and indeed when we form government we will be looking to overturn that, and we will go back to the people of Portmore with a proper consultation process to see how they want to move forward.
So, make we get into the story. The Jamaica government has officially approved a bill to make Portmore the island's 15th parish. Sounds historic, right? Well, not everyone is celebrating. This move was met with fierce resistance from the opposition, culminating in a dramatic walkout before the final vote. The bill amends the Countries and Parishes Act of 1867. Yes, you heard that right. We're updating a law that's older than light bulbs to give Portmore official parish status. It was passed using the JLP's supermajority, proving that when the government really wants something, it will get it. Opposition protest, be damned. Them not care if the opposition want protests. We have the supermajority, so here what? Our we say goes. We asking the PNP is just a courtesy call. So whether the PNP want participate in this or not, we still push it through. We don't need them, and I like then can't stop it. That is what the JLP is indirectly saying with this action. You get me? Desmond McKenzie, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, was the man of the hour, calling this a historic step for Jamaica's development. According to McKenzie, this is about empowering the people of Portmore and fulfilling a JLP campaign promise. How long was that JLP campaign promise? For in a blue school in time? But the opposition isn't buying it. Enter Fitz, the PNP's spokesman on Portmore affairs, who had a few choice words to describe this bill. In fact, he called it the gerrymandering of political boundaries, Bill 25. Ouch! And that's where the real drama begins. So as soon as McKenzie introduced the bill, Jackson wasted no time to tearing into it. He argued that this wasn't about development, it was about politics. According to him, the JLP couldn't win Portmore's municipality through elections, so they are now using the parliamentary muscle to get their way. In other words, if you can't beat them at the ballot box, just redraw the map of Jamaica. Jackson went on to accuse the government of deception, pointing out that many of the bill's provisions already exist under the 2003 Municipalities Act. So why the need for the new bill? According to him, it's a carefully crafted move to remove Portmore's right to elect its own mayor, who just so happens to be PNP's Leon Thomas. Now, once this becomes the law, the position of directly elected mayor of Portmore, now held by PNP's Leon Thomas, will no longer exist. So the PNP has said this goes against the will of the people of Portmore, who voted for Leon Thomas. Well, the JLP no care about that. And the opposition claims that Portmore isn't even ready to be a parish. No general hospital, no proper court system, no major market. So why the rush? Could it be that an election is on the horizon? And this is just part of the JLP's master plan. A master plan indeed. Well, you have to hand it to the JLP. Them know how to play the dirty game of politics. So it is to win by any means necessary. McKenzie, of course, wasn't having any of it. He fired back, insisting that this is about giving Portmore the recognition and autonomy it deserves. Yeah, right. And just to make things even more intense, the opposition walked out before the final vote. Talk about making a statement. So now, what happens next? With the bill passed, the next stop is the Senate, then the Governor General's desk for final approval. But don't think the PNP is backing down. Jackson has already pledged to repeal this law if they return to power. You see, the JLP already knows say if the PNP go in a power morning, then can repeal the law and return Portmore to what it was. Zin, but they don't care because guess what? At the JLP in a power. And them a do this for stay in a power. And it doesn't stop there. Legal action might be on the horizon. The PNP is looking to challenge this bill in court, meaning this battle is far over. The big question now is, what does this mean for the people of Portmore? Will they truly benefit from parish status? Or is this just a game of political chess? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Portmore deserves to be a parish? Or is this just a power move by the JLP? Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. Government passes bill to make Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish. JLP says it's about development and autonomy. PNP says it's political gerrymandering and power grabbing. Opposition walks out before final vote. PNP vows to repeal the law and challenge it in court. Parish status means no more elected mayor for Portmore. Bill now heads to Senate and the Governor General for approval. You're probably wondering, what is this word gerrymandering? You see, politicians love fling out political jargons and expect everybody, the average Jamaican, including myself, to actually know what them are talking about. All gerrymandering mean is to manipulate the boundaries of an electoral constituency so as to favor one party or class. Example of gerrymandering, an attempt to gerrymander the election result.
They are expecting the Prime Minister to have consultation meeting across the municipality, and the people are calling upon the Prime Minister to have that consultation because up to now the people are not clear on the boundary and what it is and where they are going, and for the people to vote not even 1 year and then 24 persons come together in Parliament and overturn that democratic rights of the people. It is uncalled for, and it is clear that gerrymanderism is taking place. And I hope that the Prime Minister and his team will consider not to go forward until we have that consultation meetings across the municipality.
So the JLP decision to push through legislation making Portmore a parish is not just a matter of governance. It is a clear political maneuver that disregards the will of the people and the principles of actual democratic representation. Zin, Portmore is not ready to become a parish as yet. First and foremost, them need a general public hospital before anything else. Everything else like a marketplace for people go buy them ground provision and all the other amenities like a courthouse can come after the general hospital has been built and established. Cause that would take a whole heap of pressure and strain off of the Spanish Town Hospital. Remember say Portmore have a large population, you know. Based on census data from Statin at one point 182,000 people, and some officials actually believe that Portmore population fly past 200,000 people, while other officials suggest that the population is almost 250,000 presently. That's a lot of people. Portmore as a city have a larger population than a lot of parishes in Jamaica, which is natural because cities are more densely populated because more people move to cities for better work opportunities. So that is expected. So what you know, remember Desmond McKenzie did say that this bill would create greater economic, social and political opportunities for Portmore's residents, enabling them to manage their own development more effectively. That's Desmond McKenzie's statement. So I want to know what greater economic, social and political opportunities them will have if Portmore become a parish where they don't have now as the St. Catherine Parish. What special perk? What's the difference? Cause me no see it, you know. You see me? But guess what? Them have to say something for deflect from the fact say them a take the Portmore municipality from the PNP. You get me? So it's more of a hostile takeover. So them basically usurp the PNP mayoral municipality of Portmore. So all that 14,000 will vote for Leon, the JLP bypass or override their electoral voice. Yeah man, them electoral vote no count in this hostile takeover. You get me? So the JLP couldn't win the local government election through the ballot box. So guess what? Them will redraw the map of Jamaica and take Portmore PNP municipality from the opposition party and turn it into a parish, which means Leon will no longer be the mayor of Portmore. And at the same time, them are sideline and cut off all of the PNP constituencies. Specific areas like your Lakes Pen, your Grange Lane, your Lime Tree Grove, and Quarry Hill. So those PNP constituencies will not be a part of the new JLP Portmore. They will not be included in the map of the Portmore Parish. So this is just a clever political maneuvering and a political strategy by the ruling Jamaica Labour Party. I am not pro-JLP, nor am I anti-JLP. I'm not pro-PNP, nor am I anti-PNP. Over here, we'll cover political topics. You see me? But this is not a political channel. We'll cover popular topics. And the only stance what we take over here so is a better Jamaica. So guess what? If you're two party are the good, we're going to big them up, and when them are the foolishness, we're going to call them out. It's that simple. If you love political drama, corruption exposés, and the latest on Jamaica's biggest political battles, this is the place to be. Hit that like button, subscribe to stay in the know, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. And of course, drop a comment. Should Portmore be a parish, or is this just JLP playing the long game? Let's debate.